Forget complicated syrups. This maple vanilla coffee syrup is rich, sweet, and takes just minutes to make. It has real vanilla beans, real maple syrup, and it transforms any coffee at home. I hope you're ready. Let's get started. We'll start simple with 1 cup of water. I recommend using filtered water, and it can really be any temperature. Even cold water or room temperature water is perfectly fine. When you have your 1 cup of water ready, go ahead and add it to your small or medium saucepan. It's not time to start heating it yet, so let's move on to the next ingredient. And next up, it's time to add some sweetness with 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. This sweetness helps the maple coffee syrup balance out the boldness of the coffee or espresso. Alright, when you have your 1.5 cups of granulated sugar ready, go ahead and add it to your saucepan. And after you add in the sugar, go ahead and give it a quick stir. Now let's heat things up a bit. Set your stovetop to medium heat. Continue to occasionally stir while the mixture heats up. You're going to heat until the sugar dissolves, which should take around 5 minutes. At 5 minutes, my sugar was completely dissolved. And now we're ready for the next ingredient. And this ingredient helps take the maple coffee syrup to another level. The ingredient is 1 vanilla bean. We actually sell vanilla beans, and I love vanilla flavor, so I use 2 vanilla beans. But 1 vanilla bean is great for most people. You can also find vanilla beans in the bakery section of most grocery stores. And if you don't want to use the actual bean, you can substitute with 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. When you're ready, grab the vanilla bean, cut off the ends, then slice the pod vertically. Next, scrape the tasty vanilla caviar out of the pod and add the vanilla caviar and the empty pod to your saucepan. Make sure to take your time and do it right. And now we're ready for the next step. Reduce the heat to low and allow the mixture to simmer for 4 to 6 minutes. While it's simmering, make sure to stir it occasionally to keep things mixed evenly. And during the simmering process, it's a perfect time for our quick goose fact. Geese can actually remember feeding locations for years. They often return to the exact same fields and ponds season after season. We'd love to have you return to watch our future videos, so subscribe to join our small but growing flock. And now back to the recipe. After the mixture is finished simmering for 4 to 6 minutes, we're ready for the next ingredient. And it's the star of the show. You can't have maple coffee syrup without maple syrup. And please, please, please make sure to use real maple syrup. The artificially flavored corn syrup is not good. As long as the bottle says 100% real maple syrup, you're good to go. And we'll need 1/2 cup. Alright, when you have your 1/2 cup of real maple syrup ready, go ahead and add it in with the other ingredients. Alright, now we're down to the very last ingredient, and it's optional. It's a dash of sea salt. If you'd like to use it, just sprinkle it in with the other ingredients. Continue simmering on low for 2 more minutes. Then it's time to turn off the heat. This is when we're going to give time for the flavors to really mix. With the heat off, let the syrup steep for 15 to 30 minutes. I like to stir it at the beginning of the steeping process and then let it sit. And I like to let it steep for closer to 30 minutes unless I'm really rushed for time. After the steeping process is complete, the flavors should be mixed and your house should smell amazing. This is how my syrup looked in the saucepan. And then it's time to strain. You can use a mesh or cloth strainer. I bought this one on Amazon. When you're ready, carefully pour the syrup through the strainer. But be careful because it's likely hot. You can actually see the steam still coming off of the syrup. As you can see, this recipe made almost exactly 2 cups. At this point, I was already so excited to try the syrup. And the coloring was different than any of my other recipes. Let the syrup cool for a few minutes, and then it's time for bottling. I like to use these swing top bottles that you can buy online, but you can use any container that's secured with an airtight lid. When you're ready, it's time to carefully bottle the syrup. It's a good idea to take it slow so you don't make a huge mess. Once the syrup is bottled, it's ready to be immediately used in your next recipe, or you can store it in the fridge until you're ready. It will stay fresh in the fridge for up to 1 to 2 months. While you're storing your syrup, check out some custom artwork my son made for this video. I'm not sure that this turkey is related to maple coffee syrup, but we'll roll with it. The turkey wants to remind you to subscribe so you don't miss out on our future videos. I love this maple coffee syrup recipe because it's so easy and so delicious. And for those of you that love quality coffee syrup but are short on time, we actually sell this maple coffee syrup and other flavors on our Lone Goose Bakery website. I'm not sure I should be mentioning this on here because we've been swamped with orders, but I'm hoping by the time you see this, we're caught up. People have been buying cases of our vanilla syrup. Now that you've mastered this maple coffee syrup recipe, you're ready for another flavor. You need to check out my popular pecan syrup recipe, and I'll see you there.